Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Credit Fiend. We fiend for that credit over here. You already know. And I'm gonna tell you guys 5 things that more than likely you guys are doing. I know most of you guys are doing these because I was doing these same things thinking I'm all cool and stuff, but no, you're doing them wrong, and these are the things that you need to be watching out for. The first thing is you're not applying for credit limit increases. I don't know how you guys expect to get these high limit cards if your income is obviously like not changing and stuff, and your credit worthiness is not changing, and then you're not applying for these credit limit increases. So with that being said, what do you need to do in order to apply for these credit limit increases? Well, most of them are in their apps, so that way you can go ahead and apply for it. And most of them are soft inquiries. So every 6 months or so, that's a good rule of thumb. If your card is below, like I would say 10%, or if you're used to paying your card off and you're in good standing with that creditor, apply for a credit limit increase. Now, of course, don't be having a whole bunch of cards maxed out and then applying for a credit limit increase. Like, bro, that doesn't even make sense. But if you are using that card to its fullest potential and then you're paying it off, it might be a good time to go ahead and ask for that credit limit increase, because you're obviously using that whole limit up every single time and then you're paying it off, which is cool. But like, you could have a much higher limit, so that way if you didn't pay it off, then it's not going to affect your credit score, because it might only be like 20% of that card, or 10 or 5%, depending on how much they raise your credit limit to. The next one on the list is you're reporting your card as lost instead of damaged. Let me tell you why this is a huge mistake and a red flag to the creditor. You are borrowing money from the creditor, correct? So you want to look responsible. You don't want to look like you're just, oh, I misplaced this, oh, I lost this, because that's going to incur possible damages because of fraud. You know, they're going to lose money if you report fraud to your card, because you're just over here losing your card. And let's, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you're totally irresponsible, but in their eyes, that's money that they could be losing out on, because now they could possibly have a fraud case going on as well. So if you do end up losing that card, just report it as damaged and then freeze that card through your app. The next thing that you guys are doing more than likely on your application is you're reporting that you are the one paying the rent. And let me explain by this. Okay, if you're living with roommates or living with other people, then you would put your portion of the rent, of course, because that's what's you going towards that. But like, let's say it's in somebody else's name or something like that, and they're the main ones that are paying the rent, but you're paying other things, or, you know, this and that, then technically you're not paying rent. So why do you need to say that you're paying rent if your name's not on anything saying that you pay the rent? Or if the other person is paying the rent, they can go ahead and put, you know what I'm saying, that they pay the rent on their applications, like in a spouse situation, and then the other person is technically not paying rent because the other person is paying it. You're using their money to pay for the rent. So I don't know, not financial advice. I'm just saying that is a common mistake, because that means that you have less liabilities going on. So you could potentially get approved for more. That does happen in the current situation that I'm in now. Another application mistake that you are more than likely doing is not putting your full household income. Obviously, if you have reasonable access to that person's money in your household, which, I mean, you should, you all live together, you're all sharing bills and stuff, and you should be putting your full household income, especially if you're over 21, because it specifically says on most applications that you can do this. And you can also do this on certain loans as well, without them asking you to add a co-borrower or having them ask you for more documentation. So go check out my loans video and you will know exactly which ones that you can do this with. And the last but not least, okay, because this one is one of the most important things that you could do for your credit, and that you're more than likely doing that's damaging your credit, but this could also really help you if you really know how to play the system. And that is using your card before the statement date, but after your payment date. And let me explain this to you. So you have a payment date that your minimum payment is due, but there are roughly a couple days to a week between the payment date and your statement date. Well, your statement date is what's going to go on your statement, obviously, because that's what it's called. That's also the balance that's going to be reported to the credit bureau. So your credit score is more affected by your statement date. So don't use that card right after that payment date. Wait a little bit until after your statement date. And in between, make as many payments as you can. And then after the statement date, you can continue to use that extra money that you paid towards it if you end up needing it. Doing this method right there that I just explained will definitely help your credit score, and using all of these all together will definitely help your credit score because you're applying for credit limit increases, which is going to lower your utilization. You should be getting higher limits because if you're not paying the rent, but you've been saying that you've been paying the rent, shows less liability, so you should get a higher line. As well as if you haven't been putting your full household income, then that should also allow you to get larger lines too, because now you have a larger income and less liabilities. And just looking responsible overall by reporting your card as damaged instead of lost, and then on top of that your card looks like it's being paid with multiple payments before the statement date, and then you're using it after the statement date, which doesn't get reported. But when it's time to make that payment, you make that payment. That's what they're going to see at the end of the day. I hope this helped you guys out. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, or feel free to DM me. The links are all down below. I got a little link tree going, or you can fill out a form on my website, creditfeen.com, and I will email you back. We fiending for that credit.